Good morning! So in my previous video I started building a shed. In that video you will see me build the base, which is a very sturdy base, nice and solid. And I also started building some of the walls. Unfortunately I wasn't able to build the walls up in the garden because there's no flat surface to work on, so I built them in the garage. At the time though, I didn't think at all about how heavy they are, and they weigh an absolute ton. This wall happens to weigh about 65 kilograms, which I can only just about lift. And as I've got a staircase going up the garden, negotiating the staircase with that big a piece of wall on my own is going to be incredibly difficult. Now, I could wait until somebody can give me a hand. I could also wait for it to dry out a little bit more. However, I want to use my garage, and I'm not sure how long I'd have to wait before I can get this sorted. So my plan for today is to cut it in half. And yeah, hopefully by cutting it into two smaller sections, not only will they be smaller and easier to negotiate, obviously it'll be half the weight as well. I'll then have to look at reinforcing it afterwards, because obviously I'll have cut it in half, so it will be a hinge point in the middle, but I'm sure I can work around that. So yeah, that's the plan. I've drawn a couple of lines, so let's give it a go. Well, that cut well, and it's relatively straight as well, which is good. So yeah, next plan is to put some wood in here. So if I put an upright in like this, that'll give me something to nail these boards to. Then the intention is I can put a 2x4 in between the two pieces of wall like that. So that looks like an upright beam, and it looks like it's supposed to be there. I can then use that to tie the two pieces of wall back together again. The only irritating thing is it will make the shed that much longer if I just put it in like this. So I'm going to have to cut that much off of this side and do the same with the post behind it. That's not a bad thing though, because I did actually damage the post behind there when I was cutting. So yeah, does mean I'm going to have to order a couple more bits of wood, but I can get those in the car easily. So yeah, let's get this finished off, tidied up and nailed in place, and then yeah, hopefully I can get on with building some more walls. Right, well that's those walls fixed and up in the garden, ready to go in place. So I've now got enough space that I can actually get on and build something in here, but I'm not going to do that. I've got about an hour of daylight left, so I'm going to give it a go, building a wall up there, save me carrying it all the way up. So let's see how we get on. Well, I don't know if you can actually make anything out here because it really is getting too dark to see, but I wanted a little bit of satisfaction for the end of the day, so I thought I'd try and get the two walls up in the corner here. Now that was an incredible battle to try and do that on my own, and I did end up dropping one down the hill, but I've managed to get them up and screwed into place. And then I've looked at them and gone, it's wrong. So in my rush to try and get the pieces cut so I could get out here before I lost the light, the back wall, I've cut it at 2 metres wide. Problem is the framework for the shed was supposed to be 2 metres wide overall, which means that was supposed to be 9 centimetres less because of the bits attached to it from either side. So I have two options now. I can either take the back wall down and cut the ends off and redo them, or I can add an additional piece on the outside of the frame. So I'm probably going to go for the additional on the outside of the frame, but I'm thinking I'm going to think about it overnight and we'll decide in the morning. So see you in a bit. Right, well I'm pleased I slept on it because I came up with a third option overnight. It does mean the shed's not going to be as tidy as I would have liked, but I think it'll be perfectly acceptable. It does mean I don't have to buy any extra timber or cut anything, so that is a good thing. So where I cut this wall in half, I said I was going to put a 2x4 down in this gap here to join the two pieces together. Well, if I leave out that piece of 2x4 and just butt the two walls together, this wall can shift up by that width, which means I can then swap these two around, so this wall is bolted onto the back rather than this wall being bolted on. That will mean that this will all fit. The only downside is it means I won't have a nice join between the two pieces here. It'll literally butt up, and the piece of trim that should be on the back will be on the side, which means the side wall won't be balanced. Personally, by the time it's painted, I don't think it's going to notice, so that's what I'm going to do. As you might be able to hear, the weather has turned slightly, so I'm going to try and get the final wall built and try and get this sorted before the end of the day. I'm not going to be able to get the roof on like I would have liked to, but if I can get the walls up and solid, I'll be happy. So yeah, let's get on. Right, well that's the walls up and it's starting to look like a shed. With the four corners it should be nice and sturdy now and be able to withstand the wind that we're getting over the next couple of days. So I still need to put some trim work in the corner there and finish the top of the walls off, but before I can do that I need to get the roof on there because I don't know how the two interact. So next step is to build some A-frames and probably trim that holly as well because that's going to cause problems in the future. It's getting a bit late in the day to be doing that today, so I'll probably do that in the next video. So I'm going to end this video here. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you've left it a like. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the rest of the build of this shed, and I shall see you later. Despite not having a roof, it actually feels quite cosy in here.